Welcome back to part 2. The first part of this topic was my video on capitalism. The video was about how we have conformed our definition of capitalism to Google's opinion of what they think capitalism is. In this video, I want to expose why we have been lied to about capitalism and how current markets are moving more towards a communist ideology. Let's focus on the free market for a minute. When you look at a free market, do you think of payment processors telling you, hey, you can't buy that? Do you think of companies demanding an ID to use the internet? What if I told you that all of these things are coming and it's being blamed on capitalism? A free market is antithetical to a monopoly. Monopolies often rely heavily on policy to maintain their one-sided business and remove competition from the market. The two things keeping monopolies in power are 1. Policy designed to gatekeep industry from create barriers to entry. 2. A source of governmental protection that can be abused and used to force small inventors into selling their ideas to monopolies. All of these qualities seem to define an oligarchy, a group of CEOs designing policy and crafting governmental protections of their intellectual properties. Maybe you've been hypnotized into believing that our IPs need protection, that without copyright anyone can just steal an idea and resell it. Let me ask you this. How many of you can print a PCB board and cut highly polished silicon wafers at home? Chips that are so sensitive if even a flake of dust landed on it, it would ruin the entire chip. If you want to know why innovation in America has come to a grinding halt, this is the reason why. Oligarchs are so afraid that you might be able to do what they do better, that they won't even allow you to have access to the technology needed to invent new things. So why do IP laws exist? Simple, it exists as a barrier of entry. Do you think China cares if they steal our chips and reverse engineer them? Do you think other nations that don't respect our IP laws care if we catch them? What are we going to do about it? Stop using them as slave labor to mass manufacture our goods? Let's read it out so everyone understands the gravity of where we are going as a society.
YouTube is implementing a new AI-powered system to better identify and protect younger users, particularly teens, by assessing their viewing habits and channel history. This system may prompt users to verify their age if the AI determines they are likely under 18. And they will then have the option to verify with a government ID, selfie, or credit card. This approach aims to automatically apply additional protections to teens on the platform, supplementing existing measures like supervised accounts.
And there you have it, censorship and information control, because YouTube wants to have more control over what kids watch than most parents. YouTube is not your mom and dad. You shouldn't have to insert a credit card to remove censorship from YouTube. If you don't yet understand why this is a bad thing,
congratulations, you played yourself.
If you think censorship with YouTube is bad, just wait until you see what Visa is doing. And here it is. Now you're not allowed to buy things without Visa's permission. Visa has finally positioned itself in the financial market so well that it doesn't care if you have cryptocurrency. If you buy a video game a bunch of crying Karens in a totally different country are crying about, well, now you'll have to create your own way to process payments digitally, because Visa won't allow you to make that purchase. Are you ready for the dystopian future? Are you ready to live in a world where one wrong thought is enough to digitally segregate you from the rest of the world? Because that's where we are heading. We are heading towards a society where one day it might be illegal to speak freely. Have we learned yet that we can't rely on Republican or Democrat policy to keep our rights intact? Can you see now? That government cares more about the dollars a company makes than your rights as an individual? This policy isn't about protecting kids. Those are propaganda talking points the media uses to bully you and emotionally blackmail you into compliance. You don't have to tolerate government's intolerance of your rights. You don't have to tolerate corporate oligarchs forcing and grooming your children into being their loyal wage slaves, ready to pay money for the privilege of using an internet that puts them at a direct disadvantage to the rest of the world. Censorship is not the job of monopolies. It's the job of parents, and if you are a responsible parent, you should be protesting this from the rooftops. Censorship is wrong, and people shouldn't be forced into the position of being spied on constantly by a monopoly's AI software to be able to see reality. If parents want to opt their kids into an account that's already protected, they can already do that without handing over their rights to a corporation. I don't condone violence as a form of protest. However, using your voice in a way that keeps a company from operating isn't a bad idea. Oligarchs are afraid that one day you might wake up and choose to disrupt their not-so-free market, that you might be louder than the paid activist groups that push their agenda, that you might prevent shareholders from investing, and they might not get to drive their yacht to that island you've been told to ignore. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Just this little almost 6-minute video has taken almost 4 hours to edit and make. I hope you enjoy all of the hard work I put into making this content, and please have an amazing day.